I'm going to jump in here a little bit first. So I'm going to put you guys onto something that you need to go. Kurt's talked about his games, and he is fired up. I got a game that you've got to hear about. We've never talked about on this show. Ball Ace True is such a great card game. It's ball with an ace in the middle and then TRO. So Ball Ace True is such a great card game. Trust me, Kurt, you're going to love it. Joe, you should try it out. I'm glad you weren't drinking your Coke when I said that, Kurt, because you might have spit it out. But this dude got me turned on to Balatro, and it is an ace in the middle. Like, okay, I sent him and Phil a screenshot. I was like, all right, again, it is what he says it is. It's hard to explain. When he was talking about power cards and things, it's really just like you said, fun run. You can pick it up, put it down. You don't have to know that much. Actually, it helps to know less about poker.
Probably
because I was trying to build cards that had a high end, like you're trying to beat somebody or not. But it's very easy to catch on. It is a lot of fun. I have yet to beat a run. I've gotten all the way to 7 rounds.
You will.
Oh,
it took me forever too. But you will.
I know. Random kid, I'm not addicted like Kirk, because I think he plays it even in his sleep. In fact, I think, Kurt, I please understand that I'm not trying to violate your HIPAA privacy, but you told me this and it was recorded, so I can't help you.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt had it in the waiver. He had to sign the waiver, like, if I go under, I understand I might not come out, but I really just need y'all to cut off my nerves so I can play this game while you take all the skin off. Right? I think that's how that went, Kurt. Because I see that you do say that Balatro has taken over your life.
Yep.
Except for the surgery.
Yep. Which is coming up in a couple weeks. Yep. So
I'm half expecting him to come and be like, bam, and just reveal a Balatro tattoo across his chest.
just that actual ace.
Just the ace.
Now, I will say, and I just want to make it a short part just to say yes. He hooked me into it. When I sent the screenshot to you and Phil at the same time, just in different texts.
Yep.
He answered first. He's like, you dumbass. But I know he's playing it too. I think it'd be fun to some night hang out and do the seeds and show, because it really is right up my alley. You were right. It took precedent before I went to Emberword. I will take a look at that. That looks pretty cool.
Yep.
But I want to ask you, I want to save you the last. I got some questions to ask you about your surgery. So the other thing is, I talked about Hell's Paradise. We haven't done anime in a while. I felt like Phil might come back and listen to the show if we didn't do anime. So we got to do some more anime, because it's just like spraying for roaches. You got to do that every 3 months or so.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away. An anime a day keeps the Phil away. Something like that.
Yeah. In fact, if I cared enough to give a crap to pull this off, it'd be hilarious for me and you, Joe, and 2 other people to do full cosplay anime versions of the Botched Boys and sit in the front row just to irritate the crap out of Phil. I just don't have the energy. Hey, Hugh. We're underway. Okay, cool. We'll definitely talk about that. I love Hugh bets on everything. But Hell's Paradise, right? I talked about it a few months ago, actually, on Netflix. It was a new one that popped on there. A little bit different style for me. It's just on the edge of too monstery, weird shapes, grossness, a little too abstract, a little too blood. I like to use the word porn for like excess, right? So like blood porn. It's not sex, although there was some sexual nature to it. That was not nearly as much as the weird monster, but it was right close enough that, like, okay, I like the possibility of how the story is evolving. But here's the thing, Joe. So I thought the reason I'm interesting, Joe, is I mentioned, man, I just finished Hell's Paradise. Did you like it? And this is like 3 weeks ago. I was like, I want to talk about it on the show, and I keep forgetting to bring it to the show. The first thing I thought I would ask, did you enjoy it or did you like it? Yeah, but apparently not enough, because I'll start and stop episodes, mid-episodes. I'll watch like half of one into the half of another, just whatever I'm doing.
It didn't excite you enough to want to keep binging it, basically.
Well, yeah, to point. I mean, it became one of my side screen shows, so I'd watch one shaving or whatever. The funniest thing about that, though, is like, you know what? I really need to go. I haven't finished. I need to go finish the last few episodes. The last place I stopped was 5 minutes from the end of the last episode. So it didn't quite. Yeah, it didn't quite. I laughed like you laughed as soon as the credits rolled. I'm like, oh crap! I could have just finished 5 minutes. I did like some of what they do. I liked being pushed into an uncomfortable area just to see something new and think about something differently. I would definitely watch it if they gave this random kids a mess a second season, but if they don't, I'm okay too. But I thought it was interesting. Very Asian in some of the things they do. Like the monsters are real mutant weirdo monsters, and they're gods, but they're kind of not gods. It's a level of confusing that's understandable, but hard to explain.
So apparently it's been announced for a second season, but they haven't actually confirmed a release date.
Got it. What are you saying, Kurt?
So you said very Asian in their influence. I mean, anime by definition, but
well, yeah.
But did you mean kaiju or did you mean tentacle?
Tentacle.
Okay, no, and I'm not even trying to be weird about it. It's.
I mean, it's Attack on Titan, right? Where it's the weird monsters.
Monsters versus the kaiju. I mean, it's just kaiju are monsters, I guess.
Yeah, but kaiju are like Godzilla.
Yeah,
giant,
giant,
you know?
Yeah.
Monsters that my brain can wrap accept better.
I wasn't getting weird, Joe. I wasn't getting weird.
Yeah.
You already were.
Okay. Health. If you watched Akira, that hit at a point in time where it was a little bit more mutiny than I was ready for. And I don't mean like X-Men mutiny, like tentacle mutiny. But this is a step further, but not so much. Like I won't watch Attack on Titan. I mean, just 5 seconds to the preview, like, yeah, not for me. Just no. And I'm not afraid of them. There's something about it that's like, I don't like it.
It's not your vibe.
Exactly. And I wish it was, because everybody raves. Who likes the people who like Attack on Titan, which is a lot, they rave about it. I just can't.
Well, until the last season. The last season was very divisive.
Okay.
And I'll just leave it at that.
Then my last thing, because I'm not sure if I got to talk about I bought some board games when I went to Southern Fried Gaming Expo, and I wanted to briefly go over them because they have been fantastic. They're from a company called Century 25 Publishing, I think is what it's named. Okay. The guy who runs the company was there. Actually, I got his he got my information. I don't remember if I got his. I think I got to check my wallet, but I talked to him about Wise and Nerdy coming on, talking to us about he's a publisher of games. So other people make the game. I think he's made a few of the games, but this Fika, Fika, is a Swedish word, Finnish. Man, I'm sorry that if I get that. I know they're two different countries. It's a Northern European country. I can't remember if it's Swedish or Sweden or Finland, but they have a cultural norm of every day. Your friends and family are very important to them. So every day you make time for a hot drink, and it's known as fika. Not the drink, but the moment is known as fika. And it's just sit, chat, share a warm drink, and move on. So the game is able to play during that moment. It's about sharing moments, and it's very competitive, but not competitive. You actually get a little strip of road. That's 5 cards. And it's much easier to play and explain than to just explain. But essentially, you and one other person are trying to win the tips of the people. And so you have 1 through 6 cards, like the number 1 through 6, and there's 3 different suits, if you will. Swedish. Okay, thank you, Joe. Swedish. And for lack of better words, it's red, green, brown. Right. They definitely represent things, but for just a quick overview, it's red, green, brown. Yeah, it's IKEA. But each card tells you what it does. And so you can do a special little thing with it, like move from one spot to another, move a crowd. So you have 2 cards that are crowds. That's who helps you get more points to get the tips. But essentially, you're selling coffee and pastries, but not. I know it doesn't make sense, but you're building points. It's so me and my youngest daughter play it constantly now. Very quick game, easy to understand. And yet again, I mean, I just realized with games, I'm a visual learner. Reading the book is hard for me to process, and I didn't think that would be a thing in my life. But I found some quick, easy videos. Oh, that makes sense. And then once you get it through once, then you can teach it and play it. So much fun. So Fika. I think it was $20. And then the other one we picked up was called Junk Drawer.
Real quick, before you get into Junk Drawer, I really wish that a lot more board games would do what there's a company called Grandpa Beck's Games. They make board games as well. What they've started doing is in their rule book, they have a QR code for you to scan to go to a YouTube. Where
that's cool.
They give a breakdown of the rules real quick and show visually how to play it. So I wish a lot more would do that. All right, now you continue with
110%. Now, and I did find it is 25, the number 25, 25thcenturygames.com is their site. I'm pretty sure they're local here to Atlanta. And there's a lot of interesting ones I looked at. Donut Shop, it's a puzzler. Y'all check it out. It's pretty cool. But Junk Drawer, it's kind of Tetris made simple. Again, so much fun. You can have 3 to 4 players or 2 to 4 players, whatever. I mean, yeah. And you literally get a little board that mimics your board. It's a red square with squares inside of it, like a Tetris board. It's a red, blue, purple, orange. And you shuffle the deck and you put the deck in a pile. The first 4 cards go into those spots. So that's how you score. And the score is get +3 for every tile that touches the perimeter. Every square that is covered that touches perimeter. So you're in that square. The way to maximize your points is to follow those rules. Then the net square is blackout. As many squares as you can get covered, you get a point for. The next one can be, and it just every time you shuffle a deck, it changes. So you start with a 4 on there, and then everybody gets the same Tetris tile puzzle pieces that are things you have in a junk drawer. There's charging cables, there's scissors, there's sewing kits, there's all kinds, but they're in different, obviously, shape patterns. So when you flip that card, it's one card, everybody sees, charging cables. And then you pick where you want to play in your 4 squares that matches the scoring squares, and everybody has their own board of 4. And I haven't enjoyed board games this much since I was a kid. I, of course, had standard board games when I was a kid, like Skip-Bo and Trivial Pursuit, those kind of things, right? I know Skip-Bo is a card game, but kind of that around the table game, if you will. I'm always hesitant because, it felt like for the longest time, if you said board game, it's like Settlers of Catan and Doomhaven or Gloomhaven or whatever it's called. And I'm like, I don't have time for that. These are so much fun. Now, my kids are smart. Your kids might not be as smart as mine. I can't help you with that. But even my youngest at 11, she's 11, picked it up just like that. Everybody loves it. It get 10-minute, 15-minute run times, very little setup, which also is a big thing. If I got to go, I love Mousetrap because I was never allowed to have it as a kid. So as soon as I was an adult, I bought it and I played it with my wife for many years until we had kids. And then I was like, I got to build that board. I don't want to do that because I got lazy. But the setups have to be easy for me. And I love both of those games. So I'd be very open to trying some of these other games by this publisher.
So I'm with you on the depth of board games thing, where sometimes they could be really fun, but sometimes the learning curve is so high,
right,
that it just is like, I can't deal with this. So like when the kids were small, I would go to the board game store in the area and just pick up something new for the family to learn, which means that it had to be easy enough to learn, but also good enough for it to keep my for it to keep my interest
right
as well. And so I took a chance on Munchkin. Munchkin never worked, but the game that I still stand by that I think is awesome, Flux.
I've played that. I have not bought a version of it yet, but I did enjoy it.
It is so dead simple and then gets way more complicated as the game goes.
It really does. Because
but it's for great because it just unfolds in front of you, right?
Yeah. So for those that have ever played Flux, the cards you play add new rules to the game. And so the rules are constantly changing, as well as the win condition for Flux is constantly changing.
In fact, there is no win condition when the game starts.
Right. And so Junk Drawer is I would say it was a lighter version of that, where you choose how to place your pieces in each of the slots to figure out who can get the most points. So it doesn't change the win condition other than you got to figure out how to maximize, and everybody can maximize their points in different ways.
Yep.
It's all about your choice. And honestly, Joe, other than little Jebediah, I think your entire family would love to jump in the junk drawer.
Another game that's really, really accessible and
such a phrase. Your whole family should jump in the junk drawer.
A game that sounds like what you were talking about, Charles, is a game. I had the reason I stood up and went out with my phone is because I know right where it is, but I couldn't remember the name of it. But it's called Fits, Fits, and it is literally like a Tetris board, like the well that you drop Tetris pieces into.
Okay,
and then it comes with a whole bunch of cards that are your game board that you fit into like the Tetris well, right? And then you draw cards, which are Tetris pieces that you have to fit onto this board, and whoever covers up all the points first wins. And it's really easy. I'm even making it sound more complicated than it is, but it's a lot of fun and just dead simple. Nice. If you like Flux, there is Flux, the board game. Now, I'm telling you, that gets way more complicated because there are 4 board game. Well, the board is 4 pieces, so it's literally on a board. You put you take a character, you move it around the board like a meeple type thing, but the board changes as the game goes. Like each quadrant of the board can rotate or move to the other side. It changes based on what the cards pull up. It's ridiculous. And it's like you got to be paying attention to play those games. But Flux, dead simple. Love it, love it, love it. I've bought a whole bunch of different versions of it. Yeah, it's great.
And I random kid said you should try Blockus. I have heard of that one as well.
Blockus is great.
Ooh,
I love
that's
that
a
game.
good one.
Yeah.
You know
Speaking of Tetris style games,
Yep.
Well, also speaking of Tetris style games, we actually bought real life Tetris at one point, and it's based on cards similar to Fits, I guess. But it is fun. Because we would buy games from Target, but it got to the point like we loved playing the Taco Bell game. Nobody plays anymore. That was the last game run we did. We got Taco Bell, we got Blockbuster, the game, which is a movie trivia game, but our kids don't have a deep enough well to go to that kind of trivia game yet. And then we got the Tetris game.
Yeah,
played it until these. So Joe, tell me how much you love Balatro, whatever.
I've never tried Balatro. Balatro. I've never tried Balrog, the card game.
Yep.
Right. Got it.
You will. Oh, yes. You will. Because it's coming out on Android and iOS.
Oh, see, that's where I'll get into more. But all right.
Addiction in your pocket.
What are you? Where are you? No, okay. Let's stop throwing the A word around, everybody. Let's stop just because it's based loosely on poker.
Dude, it's my last name. We can say Ard all we want.
Yeah, that's Arded. That sounded bad, but
it did.
When you talk about, it's all about resonation, and when you talk about, I guess, Kurt's life and my life of not always being able to sit down and just focus on playing a game. So when I do that, I just beat Doom Eternal the other day, but I've been working on that one for a while. Yeah, I want to play, but to be able to go, I got 5 minutes. Now, Kurt works from presumably home and at his computer. That's where he gets paid. Like you, Joe, you have balloons, if I remember, more hours than anybody in any game. But for me to be able to have it on my phone, so when I'm sitting on the couch going, this show's okay, I could be playing a hand because there's no timer, there's no people, there's no pressure. So if that's an addiction, I ain't going to rehab. Yep. But that's not what you were talking about, are you? You're talking about neighbors that are weird.
It's true. You guys have all these happy, fun game times, and then bam, what I'm nerding out about is a movie that came out 17 years ago now, Disturbia.
Is that Shia LaBeouf?
It is.
That movie?
It is Shia LaBeouf. Yeah. Where he gets house arrest and just starts people watching because his mom, who's Trinity from The Matrix, slices the cord on his basically all of his electronics and cuts off all of his accounts. So he's so bored, he's just people watching all the time. It helps that a cute girl moves in next door so he can people watch her. But during his people watching, he starts seeing some things that are a bit shady with his neighbor, and so he keeps people watching and people watching and people watching, and it's actually really, really well done, especially with the budget that they had on it. Like, there's no set, like it's just 3 houses in a neighborhood basically, so the set is super cheap, so they don't have to change that. I think the budget, when I looked it up, was like 20 million, and internationally it brought in like 118 million, and so like it made bank on a cost versus revenue, but it's actually really good in my opinion. I mean, it's got some cringe moments, but I like it. I like it quite a bit. It's before Shia LaBeouf went crazy, so it was good.
Do it.
Well, so Shia LaBeouf, he had all the marks of becoming a really good actor. He had moments of that I felt he was a good actor.
Name 20
moments.
Yes.
all of them are in Disturbia.
Even Stevens, Holes.
Yeah.
But no, he was on his way. He was getting some big IPs and whatnot, and then he went crazy. But anyway,
I just don't think he could hack it. I'm sorry, it's just me. I saw him in Project Greenlight, which was one of his early things, a movie they made there. And
didn't see that.
Yeah.
Here's
not many people did.
Here's my take on Shia LaBeouf. I think he took himself way too seriously and now thinks of himself as an auteur, and an artiste, and it's just silly. Just do your job.
He, like I said, he went crazy.
Yep.
Yesterday you said DiGiorno.
Yeah, no, I honestly don't think he. Here's the true answer for me. I don't think he went crazy. I think he has no friends, because friends call you on your crap, and friends say no, you're being an idiot.
Yeah, he was surrounded by yes men and got an overinflated ego.
Yes, kind
of like the people that Charles started podcasting with.
Yeah.
Says, never mind. You're appreciated, Joe.
Yeah, no,
he likes you or not.
I rewatched Disturbia and I liked it as much as I did the first several times. This is probably like the 3rd or 4th time I've watched it. It was good.
Yeah, Kurt's. I wish you could put Kurt's face on a button.
Years. That's like watching
so many other things you could watch 3 or 4 times in 17 years.
Okay, sorry, I watch it like every 4 to 5 years.
It's your favorite movie, isn't it?
No, it is not.
I mean, you could watch Lakeview Terrace at least once.
You could watch West Wing a bunch of times in that time period.
I've never watched West Wing.
You could watch Westworld at least one time.
You can watch the Westworld series and all the movies that were spun off of it.
You can watch a documentary on the West End.
Less than 2 hours long. I don't know how long you guys are. Anyway, I liked it.
I'm glad you liked it 4 times. So Kurt, of course, you talked about Balatro. I think we've been judged by Joe on that one.
You've been judged by the world.
Panniculectomy.
I'm just trying to parse that Joe is the world. I don't know if that's an ego thing or if he's self-harming with his deprecating humor. I'm like, buddy, no.
Yeah.
No, you do not have a gravity or that big of an ego. You're okay.
Yeah.
Now random kissing. We're random. Okay. First off, let's go to Hugh's question when he heard about that. What is the over under and how much weight Kurt will lose after skin removal? His bet is 15.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really, I've been trying to figure that out too, and I'm being conservative. My guess would be somewhere when.
Did you have someone come over and hold the skin while
No,
you're
but
standing on the scale?
I could do that. I mean, or not hold it low to offset the weight. That's not the easiest way to do it. You get a food scale, put it up on a counter, and just lay your gut on it.
Just lay the skin on it.
But I'm guessing between 5 and 10. I could be conservative on that, but I don't, I don't ever kind of overestimate when it comes to.
So you're thinking 10 and under. He's saying 15 over.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, let's review here.
Yeah.
How much when you started to when you are now, how much weight have you already lost?
160 pounds.
And how much in muscle do you think you've put back on?
Oh boy, that's a hard one. I don't.
Because that still takes up some space, is all I'm thinking.
It does, but it doesn't take up the space of where the fat is that they're cutting off, or the skin. I mean, your abs can only go out so far.
You don't have the bat wings or the sloppy thighs?
I do have a little bit of bat wings, just if I'm.
I just figured it's all coming off. That's all, right?
Well, no. So all they're taking off is the flap.
Okay.
So what's called the panum, which is where your belly gets big and it hangs over your hip, your actual waistline. And so that flap, so if I'm doing it for the camera, but if my hips are here and here, right? And this is the skin that hangs over my hips as just excess skin and whatnot, they cut from here to here. And they just remove it. They just remove that.
How far down does it hang between your hip bone and your knee?
I mean, you won't
keep your pants on, sir. Keep your pants on.
I'm gonna say.
Oh my God! Hold that thought. Hold it. Oh, look at this. Does your pan hang low? Does it wobble to it? That's random, kid.
Yep. It does wobble to it, bro. I cannot tie it.
All right,
it probably, without getting too graphic, pretty close to crotch level. So from your hip. So that's probably 5 inches, maybe.
Okay.
At its peak, maybe 6. It's it's hard to tell.
I know. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go between 10 and 15. Is where I'm gonna land.
All right.
15 is my max. So Q's going 15 over. You're thinking 5 or 10 and under. Joe, what'd you say?
7.
7, right at 7. No range, over under. But Joe did say he wanted to. He thinks that you should have a to-go bag of it, Kurt.
I didn't say that. That was Phil. You summoned him by saying his name.
Phil
too
doesn't
much.
listen to this show.
So I'm gonna qualify all of these guesses by I'm going to ask them how much what they cut off weighs.
Okay.
Because actual going by weight isn't right, because I'm going to be filled with liquid because they have drains installed, and there's going to be a lot of swelling and whatnot. So actual weight loss we won't know for probably a few months, actually.
Yeah. Well, I kind of honestly assumed that was like standard when they do that. Well, it was an 8-pound bass. If you can tell me how big the fish is, you can tell me how big the panum is. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. So I am going to ask them to weigh whatever they take off, just so I can know, because even though it ultimately doesn't matter, I just want to know. I'm not going to take it home, and I'm not going to cook it up on the smoker.
I thought you're a dried out as leather and make a handbag. So when you want to buy something, you get it in my belly.
That gets into the weird range, like when people take placentas and put them in the freezer. It's weird. It's just weird. Yeah. I'm not doing it. And everybody knows that's how cannibal monsters are made.
Roll that dice. Rando Kid, you said Charles joined the gym. How's that going? It took a little bit longer than anticipated to get my membership set up, and then this week has taken quite the turn, and I'm going to try to get in for the first time tomorrow.
What do you plan on doing at the gym?
Feeling better about myself. I really don't have. I know what you're asking. That's not what you're asking. I don't know. I'm gonna walk in and make sure how things work. Supposedly, as a company, we have a bunch of credits to do one-on-one time.
Yep.
And the owner's like, you can take all the credits or whatever, but I'm at least use a credit to get an idea of what I should focus on. I want to lose my belly weight. I want to tighten up my chest and my arms a little bit. But I always like to balance with my legs. So I need some knee exercises and those kind of things to strengthen up those muscles around my
He's going to join the old lady aerobics class.
Yep.
Dude, you got me. You had me at water aerobics.
You had me at old lady.
An old lady.
I kicked my camera. Are you happy now?
So just, I know you probably know this, but exercise is terrible for weight loss. Just saying.
You know what's worse for weight loss? Sitting on my ass at a desk 12 hours a day.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I like treadmill. I love treadmills.
Then that's great. And the cardiovascular improvement that you can get by that's great. And I know you know this, but in terms of actual weight loss, exercise is like the fourth most efficient way your body can burn calories.
The first is waiting for Kurt to show up on the show. No, I don't know. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry, Kurt. Don't leave. Okay, leave. It's fine. Oh, yeah. Rogue Daddy it is.